Ladies and gentlemen, do you ever wonder why some people get rich while others work just as hard and stay broke forever? The answer is not luck. It's not even talent. It's 10 secrets, hidden, simple, and powerful, that most people ignore. And today I'm going to share them with you one by one. Secrets that can quietly change your bank account, your life, and your future. Stick with me for the next few minutes, because the first secret alone will make you rethink every purchase, every decision, and every habit you have with money. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the first secret that separates people who get rich from those who stay broke. Secret 1. Live below your means. Imagine this. You just got your paycheck. You're excited. You think, finally I can enjoy life. And then, somehow by the end of the week, it's gone. Poof, where did it go? Most people blame bills, taxes, or bad luck. But here's the truth. You spent your money before it even had a chance to work for you. This secret is not about being cheap. It's about being smart. Most people think making more money is the solution. Wrong. The real problem is how fast you give it away. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine got a promotion, double his salary in a year. Exciting, right? He could have bought a car, upgraded his apartment, gone on vacations, and posted it all on Instagram. But instead, he quietly invested a large portion of his income. Fast forward 3 years, the money he didn't spend had grown more than the salary increase itself. While everyone else was busy trying to look rich, he was quietly becoming rich. Even famous people follow this secret. Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought decades ago. Mark Zuckerberg drives a modest car. Oprah Winfrey budgets carefully and makes smart purchases. Here's the funny part. Most people aren't broke because they don't earn enough. They're broke because they buy things their mood tells them to buy. Shoes, gadgets, fancy coffees, random subscriptions, all while thinking, I deserve it. There's this guy who goes out with friends. Before leaving the house, he's like, I'll only spend 1,000 today. By the end of the night, he spent 7,000. Not because he wanted to, but because he didn't want to look cheap. He didn't pay the bill. His insecurity paid the bill. So here's your challenge. Look at your last month's spending. Ask yourself, did I buy this because I needed it or because I wanted to feel happy? Start catching yourself even half the time and you'll notice your money behaving differently. Slowly, quietly, but surely, it starts to grow. You start building freedom. You start controlling your life instead of letting your money control it. Because the first secret to getting rich isn't about earning a fortune overnight. It's about keeping what you already have and using it wisely. And once you master this habit, you'll be surprised the richer you become, the easier it gets to make more money. Because now, your money works for you, not the other way around. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed how some people always seem to find opportunities, make money, and grow rich, while others work just as hard and stay stuck in the same place year after year? It's not luck. It's not talent. The difference is in one secret almost nobody talks about, and once you understand it, it can completely change your life. The second secret that will make you rich is this. Master a skill that can earn you a lot more than your regular job ever could. Most people think money comes from working harder, doing more hours, or just being lucky at their job. That's why they stay average. But rich people don't just work, they learn skills that make them valuable, irreplaceable, and highly paid, and then they use those skills to create multiple opportunities for themselves. Let me tell you a story. I knew a guy working a normal 9-to-5 job. He was smart, diligent, but his income was limited by his salary. One day, he decided to learn digital marketing. At first, it was slow. After a few months, he landed his first client, a tiny local shop. The client paid him $300 for one project, then 2, then 5. Within a year, he was earning double his old salary just from side work. 3 years later, he quit his 9-to-5 completely. He had multiple clients, and his income had skyrocketed, all because he invested in learning one high-income skill. And it's not just regular people. Look at famous examples. Elon Musk taught himself programming, physics, and engineering basics before launching his first companies. Oprah Winfrey built communication and media skills that allowed her to dominate television and build a media empire. Jeff Bezos learned coding and computer systems before starting Amazon in his garage. Skills create leverage. Leverage creates money. Here's another example that might hit closer to home. A friend of mine learned video editing. Just one skill. At first, he did free work for friends. Then he started charging $50 per video. Later, he charged $500. Eventually, he had enough clients to quit his part-time job completely. In less than 2 years, his skill alone was making him more than most full-time employees. The key is this: most people work for money. Rich people make their skills work for them. They focus on becoming so good at one thing that people pay them over and over without them needing to trade every hour of their life for cash. That's why learning a high-value skill is the second secret to getting rich. Now, let's make it practical for you. Ask yourself, what's one skill that people will pay you for consistently? Could it be writing, sales, coding, AI tools, video editing, marketing, or some craft you're passionate about? Pick one. Dedicate time every day to learning it, practicing it, and improving. The world pays for value. The richer you become in skills, the richer your life becomes in opportunities, money, and freedom. And here's the best part. This skill doesn't need to be something huge or complicated. It just needs to be something people will pay for. Something you're willing to get really, really good at. Start today, and 3 years from now, you'll look back and wonder why you didn't start sooner. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second secret that will quietly change your financial life. Focus on mastering a skill that multiplies your income, and money will start following you. Ladies and gentlemen, the third secret is don't rely on one source of income. Create multiple ways to earn money. Most people think one job is enough. They go to work, get their paycheck, maybe hope for a promotion, and call it a day. That's fine for living, but it will never make you rich. Rich people understand that relying on one source of income is like putting all your eggs in a basket on a windy rooftop. One gust, and everything can fall apart. Let me give you a real-life story. There was a friend of mine, let's call him Liam. He worked as a graphic designer at a small firm. His salary was okay, but he wanted more freedom and more income. Instead of asking for a raise, he started small. First, he sold custom illustrations online. Then he created an online course teaching beginners how to design logos. Next, he offered freelance work for small businesses in his city. 3 years later, Ahmed had 4 separate income streams. Even if one slowed down, the others kept him stable, and together they earned more than his old full-time salary. Imagine you have 4 small rivers of income flowing into your life. If one dries up, the others are still bringing water. But if you have only one river and it dries up, well, you're thirsty, and quickly. Here's a completely different example. A woman I know started baking cakes from her home. She sold to neighbors at first. Then she opened an Instagram page, started delivering online orders, and got a small catering contract with a local cafe. On weekends, she taught baking classes. All of a sudden, she had 3 different streams of income, and she was making more than she ever did in her old 9-to-5 job. And this works even in tiny ways. Maybe you're good at writing, editing, tutoring, or even social media posts. Start small. Offer your skill for money, even if it's just $20 here, $50 there. Then stack it. Add another income stream. A small online shop, reselling things, digital products, or investing in a side project. Each stream might be small at first, but over time, they combine and grow into serious wealth. The important thing to remember is multiple income streams don't just increase your money, they protect you. If one job slows down, the others keep going. If one business fails, the others keep you afloat. This is what gives rich people confidence. They're not dependent on one paycheck or one boss. So the third secret is clear. Don't rely on just your main job. Create multiple ways for money to flow into your life, small or big, online or offline, side hustle or skill-based work. Each one adds up. Over time, they stack, multiply, and grow quietly until you realize you don't just have money, you have freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, by now, you've learned 3 secrets: keeping your money, mastering a skill, and creating multiple streams of income. But if you want to get truly rich, there's a 4th secret that most people completely ignore. A secret that sounds simple, but almost nobody actually practices. The 4th secret is this: invest your money wisely. Don't let it sit idle. Most people think saving money is enough. They put it in a bank account, watch the balance slowly grow with tiny interest, and feel proud. But here's the problem. Inflation, taxes, and rising costs quietly eat that money away. The real way to build wealth is to make your money work for you. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine, Sarah, Used to save every penny she could, but it just sat in a savings account. Then she learned about simple investments, stocks, mutual funds, and a little real estate. She started small, buying a few shares each month. 5 years later, that same small effort turned into a significant nest egg. While she was still living normally, her money was growing quietly in the background, almost like having a second income she didn't have to work for. Here's another example. A local cafe owner I know had extra cash from his business. Instead of leaving it in the bank, he invested in a small rental property nearby. Now, not only does he run his cafe, but every month, the rental income comes in automatically. He's not doing extra work, yet he's building wealth faster than most people with twice his salary. Even small investments matter. Imagine putting aside $50 a week into something that earns just 10% annually. It doesn't sound like much at first, but over years, compound interest grows it into a surprisingly large amount, enough to fund your dreams or start another project. The key idea here is, don't just save money, invest it in ways that generate growth. Stocks, real estate, side businesses, or digital products, whatever works for you, start learning and putting your money there. Even small amounts grow exponentially over time. And the beauty of this secret is that you don't need to be rich to start. The earlier you start, the more powerful it becomes. Money compounds like a snowball rolling down a hill. Small at first, but unstoppable if you keep pushing it. Here's a relatable tip. The next time you get extra money, a bonus, a gift, even some side hustle cash, ask yourself, can this money work for me instead of just sitting in my wallet? Use it for investments, even tiny ones. Over time, you'll be surprised how much it grows without feeling like work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the fourth secret that can quietly start building your wealth. Make your money work for you through smart investments, not just saving it. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret 5 is surround yourself with the right people. Here's a truth most people completely overlook. The people you spend your time with can make or break your path to wealth. It's not your salary, not your skills, not even luck. Sometimes it's the company you keep. Think about it. If you spend your days with people who constantly complain about money, life, or opportunities, it's hard to stay motivated. But if you surround yourself with people who are ambitious, curious, and action-oriented, their energy pushes you forward, often without you even realizing it. Here's a realistic example. Imagine 2 software developers in the same city. Both have similar talent and experience. Developer A spends evenings hanging out with colleagues who complain about bosses and scrolls social media for hours. Developer B attends a local coding meetup twice a month and joins a small online group of developers sharing freelance opportunities. Within a year, Developer B has 3 freelance clients, has learned a new framework, and even got invited to a remote project paying significantly more. Developer A is still waiting for a promotion. The difference? The people around them. Even in famous examples, this principle shows up clearly. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are lifelong friends who constantly challenge and inspire each other. Gates has said that Buffett has taught him lessons about business and life that no book could provide. Their friendship has been a source of insight, accountability, and growth, showing how surrounding yourself with the right people can amplify your success. Or consider Oprah Winfrey. She has often credited her mentors, collaborators, and professional circles for helping her rise. She didn't do it alone. Every advisor, coach, or partner she worked with helped her make better decisions and take bigger risks. Even everyday life proves this principle. A barista learning about personal finance from a coworker who invests in real estate will naturally start asking questions, exploring options, and taking action. A neighbor who complains about never having money just reinforces the same stagnant mindset. Here's a simple exercise for anyone listening. Write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they people who inspire, teach, or motivate you? Or are they people who drain energy, complain, or resist growth? Make small changes. Attend meetups, online groups, workshops, or even casual coffee chats with people who are growing and doing new things. You don't need to cut everyone else out. Just balance your time toward people who lift you higher. The lesson is simple but powerful. Wealth flows through networks. You can have the best ideas, the best skills, and even the money to invest, but if the people around you are dragging you down, it's much harder to reach real success. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 5th secret that will quietly change your life. Surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you, friends, mentors, or collaborators, and watch how your opportunities, mindset, and even your income start to grow naturally. Ladies and gentlemen, secret 6 is Take full responsibility for your life. Here's a secret that almost nobody talks about. If you want to get rich, you have to stop blaming anyone or anything for where you are today. That's right, your boss, the economy, your school, even your family. Rich people don't wait for permission, excuses, or perfect timing. They take full responsibility for their actions and results. Think about it. Most people blame circumstances. They say, I can't start a business because I don't have money. Or I'm stuck in this job because the economy is bad. The truth? Those things are real. Yes, but wealth isn't built on excuses. It's built on what you can control. Let me give you a realistic example. A young woman named Safis wanted to start freelance writing, but didn't have clients. She could have blamed her lack of experience, her city, or the pandemic. Instead, she took responsibility. She spent hours each day building a portfolio, pitching to websites, and learning online marketing. Within a few months, she landed her first paying client. A year later, she had multiple clients and was making more than she earned in her old full-time job, all because she focused on what she could control instead of blaming her situation. Even famous people do this. Jeff Bezos started Amazon in his garage. He didn't blame the publishing industry, the economy, or investors. He took full responsibility for his vision and execution. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, didn't wait for someone to give her money or approval. She worked, learned, and persisted until her product succeeded. They could have made excuses like everyone else, but they chose responsibility. Here's a relatable way to think about it. Imagine two people trying to lose weight. One blames their genetics, their schedule, and their boss for eating badly. The other person takes responsibility, adjusts their diet, plans workouts, and tracks progress. Who gets results? Responsibility creates action, and action creates results. The same principle applies to money, business, and wealth. A practical tip: the next time something doesn't go your way, don't ask why me. Instead ask, what can I do right now to fix this? Even small actions compound over time. That's how people who take responsibility quietly build wealth while others stay stuck. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the sixth secret that will change your life. Stop blaming others, take full responsibility for your choices, and act consistently. Because the moment you own your life, you take control of your wealth too. Ladies and gentlemen, secret 7 is solve problems that matter. If you want to get rich, here's a truth most people completely overlook. Wealth is built by solving problems that actually matter to people, not by guessing, wishing, or following a trend. The bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the reward, and the more people will pay you for it. Think about it. Every successful business, invention, or breakthrough exists because someone noticed a problem and found a solution. That's it. You don't need magic. You need focus. You need to find problems worth solving and work relentlessly to fix them. Here's a story that makes this clear. Imagine a small-town delivery driver named Ahmed. He noticed that local shops often struggled to deliver products to customers efficiently. So he started a simple service. He'd pick up items from shops and deliver them for a small fee. At first, he had just 3 clients. Over time, word spread. Shops realized it saved them hours of hassle, and customers loved the convenience. Within a few years, Ahmed's small delivery service grew into a profitable local business, eventually hiring a team. The key? He identified a problem that mattered and solved it consistently. Even famous examples highlight this principle. Elon Musk didn't just decide to make flashy electric cars. He saw a real problem: the world's reliance on gas, pollution, and slow, unattractive electric vehicles. Tesla wasn't about making cars for fun. It was about solving a problem that millions of people cared about. That solution brought him wealth and influence. Look at Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She noticed an everyday frustration women had: uncomfortable undergarments that didn't fit well under clothing. She solved that problem with a simple but brilliant invention, and the world paid her for it. Her wealth came from creating a solution for a real pain point, not from following trends or hoping for luck. Even small-scale, realistic examples work the same way. A cafe owner notices that customers want healthy snacks with coffee, but none are available. By adding just a few options, sales increase significantly. A freelance writer sees businesses struggling with social media content. Offering consistent, high-quality posts brings in recurring clients. The principle is the same. Money follows solutions, not complaints or ideas without action. Here's a practical tip for anyone listening. Write down 3 problems you see every day, at work, in your community, or even online. Ask yourself, can I solve this problem in a simple, useful way? Start small. Test it. Adjust it. Even if it starts as a side hustle or small project, it can grow bigger than you imagine. Another key idea. The most profitable problems are the ones that affect many people, and they care enough to pay for the solution. It could be saving time, saving money, improving health, or making life easier. The richer the problem, the bigger the reward. And remember, solving problems also builds reputation and opportunities. People trust problem solvers. They recommend them, they collaborate with them. Your network grows automatically, and so does your potential to earn. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 7th secret that can quietly transform your financial life. Focus on solving problems that matter, and money will naturally follow, because people always pay for solutions, not excuses. Ladies and gentlemen, secret 8 is take action, don't wait for perfection. Here's a truth most people completely ignore. Most people never get rich because they wait. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. They wait until everything is just right. But let me tell you something. There is no perfect moment. The people who build wealth are the ones who act, even when things are messy, incomplete, or imperfect. Think about it. Waiting for perfection is like sitting on the sidelines while everyone else is running the race. Every day you wait. Opportunities pass by. Every day you hesitate. Someone else solves the problem you were thinking about. Action beats perfection. Always. Let me give you a famous example. The founders of Airbnb didn't have a perfect business plan or a fancy website when they started. They literally set up air mattresses in their apartment and rented them out during a conference in San Francisco. The website was basic. The photos were simple. And the presentation was far from perfect. But they took action. They learned from the experience, improved their offering, and eventually built one of the most valuable companies in the world. Even in everyday life, this principle works. Imagine a local baker who dreams of starting her own small business. She could wait months perfecting recipes, branding, and social media profiles. But instead, she starts selling cupcakes at a local farmer's market with what she has. Every week, she learns what people like, adjusts her recipes, and improves presentation. Over time, her small actions turn into a profitable business because she acted instead of waiting for perfection. Or think about Steve Jobs. The first iPhone wasn't flawless. It had bugs, missing features, and many critics doubted it. But he launched anyway, learned from users, and iterated. That imperfect action changed the world. Waiting for perfection would have meant missing the opportunity entirely. Even small actions matter. Sending a single pitch to a client, posting one video online, launching a tiny side project. These may seem insignificant at first, but each imperfect action builds momentum. It teaches you what works, what doesn't, and opens doors you didn't even know existed. Perfection is an illusion. Progress is reality. Here's a practical tip. The next time you hesitate, ask yourself, what's one small action I can take right now? Even if it's not perfect. Take it. Then the next. Keep moving forward. Momentum compounds over time. And before you know it, your imperfect actions have created real wealth, experience, and opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 8th secret that will quietly change your financial life. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Take action, learn, adjust, and move forward. Imperfect action beats perfect hesitation every single time. Ladies and gentlemen, secret 9 is protect your reputation and integrity. Here's a truth that many people overlook. Wealth is fragile if you don't protect your reputation and integrity. You can make money quickly, but if people stop trusting you, opportunities vanish almost overnight. Real lasting wealth isn't just about money, it's about credibility, trust, and respect. Think about it. How many people chase shortcuts, lie or cut corners for quick gains, only to lose everything later? The bigger your ambition, the more visible you are, and the more critical your reputation becomes. Even tech leaders show this principle. Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, is known for his transparent communication, fairness, and ethical leadership. Employees, investors, and partners trust him. That trust allows Microsoft to innovate, grow, and enter new markets confidently. Imagine if he cut corners or misled investors. Opportunities would evaporate, no matter how talented or strategic he was. Even in everyday life, protecting your reputation matters. Imagine a small business owner who cheats a few clients to make a quick profit. The word spreads. Suddenly, no one wants to work with them. Compare that to a business that consistently delivers on promises, communicates clearly, and treats customers with respect. Clients return, referrals increase, and opportunities multiply. Here's another relatable example. Elon Musk. He has occasionally faced criticism, but his companies maintain strong trust in their products because he focuses on delivering results. SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, the trust in these brands is directly tied to the people behind them. Integrity and reputation allow him to attract investors, talent, and customers repeatedly. Here's a realistic, everyday scenario. A freelance designer lands a big project. Instead of cutting corners to finish faster, they spend the time to exceed expectations. The client is so impressed that they refer 3 more clients, one of which becomes a long-term, high-paying relationship. Reputation turned into opportunity, almost magically. Practical takeaway: every decision you make, every deal you take, every interaction matters. Ask yourself, will this choice enhance my credibility or harm it? Always choose integrity, even if it seems slower or harder. Because in the long run, people pay more, trust more, and collaborate more with those who have a solid reputation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 9th secret that protects your path to lasting wealth. Guard your reputation and act with integrity in everything you do. Money can come and go, but trust is priceless, and it will multiply your opportunities faster than almost anything else. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the final secret that separates ordinary people from the truly wealthy. Think big, dream beyond what seems possible, and refuse to limit yourself to small goals or safe paths. Most people live in small boxes. They tell themselves, I can't do that, it's too risky, or I'll never be that successful. The result? They achieve small results, stay stuck, and watch others reach heights they never imagined. Rich people? They dare to dream big, not recklessly, but strategically. And they let those dreams drive every decision, every action, and every risk they take. Think about it. Take Jack Dorsey, the co-founder of Twitter and Square. He didn't settle for creating just another small software company. He imagined global platforms that could change how people communicate and handle money. Many doubted him, but he pursued his big vision relentlessly. Today, Twitter reshaped social media, and Square transformed payments for millions of small businesses worldwide. That's the power of thinking beyond limits. Or consider Reed Hastings, co-founder of Netflix. When DVDs by mail were still a small idea, he didn't limit himself to a modest business. He dreamed of transforming how the world watches entertainment. Many investors doubted streaming content could replace theaters or cable. But he pushed forward, thinking decades ahead. And today Netflix is a global powerhouse, fundamentally changing media consumption. His success wasn't from playing it safe. It was from thinking big. Even in everyday life, thinking big matters. A small business owner might imagine opening just one shop in their town. Someone who dreams bigger could see a regional chain, an online presence, or even a franchise model. Thinking big doesn't guarantee instant success, but it creates vision, motivation, and opportunities that small thinking never will. Here's a practical tip. Write down a goal so big it scares you a little. Not impossible, but intimidating enough to push your comfort zone. Break it into smaller actionable steps and start today. Each small step compounds into massive results over time. And remember, thinking big isn't about ego. It's about solving bigger problems, creating more value, and making an impact that matches your ambition. The bigger the vision, the more doors open, the more opportunities arise, and the more wealth naturally follows. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 10th and final secret. Never shrink your dreams, never limit your ambitions, and always aim for more than you think is possible. Wealth favors the bold, the visionary, and those willing to think far beyond the ordinary. Dream big, act boldly, and remember, your financial freedom, your opportunities, and your life success are waiting just beyond the limits you set for yourself today. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends.